A voice for the voiceless. That's what we are priding ourselves with as we begin to approach Elder Abuse Awareness Day this Thursday, June 15th.
Yeah, it's an issue that in most cases unfortunately goes overlooked if the cries for help are even heard at all. Expert on the issue and Monroe County Prosecutor Erica Oliphant is here with us today to shed some light on the warning signs on elder abuse and how we as a community can get involved fighting against that. Thanks for being here.
All right, thank you for having me.
This is something that I think people don't take the time to think about enough, right? Like, we love our elders in our community and we have to make sure that we're taking care of them. We touched on this a little bit, but tell us a little bit of the importance of Elder Abuse Awareness Day.
Sure. So for various reasons, elders can be at risk of abuse, whether that be exploitation financially or otherwise, or battery or neglect, and that can include self-neglect. And sometimes that happens because caregivers are unscrupulous, or it can happen just because they're isolated and they don't have the means or support to help themselves out of those situations.
So many ways.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's hard for people to realize that that's even an issue because we think of our elders as those wise people that we look to for answers, and a lot of times that gets overlooked, that they're also in vulnerable situations. Do you guys find that that sometimes is the case too, that people just aren't looking for those signs and aren't aware of those signs?
I think a lot of people just don't know what to look for. So if you have a loved one, an elderly loved one, who becomes suddenly withdrawn, confused, anxious, you're starting to notice unusual financial transactions or unexplained injuries, those kinds of things, that could be a warning sign that you have a caregiver who is not treating that elder with kindness, and you should look into the issue. You know, it's not necessarily easy to identify these problems, and they go so underreported because usually the elder does not report that abuse for various reasons.
Right now we're showing people some of the warning signs of elder abuse, like, you know, injuries like bruises, cuts, broken bones, malnourishment, weight loss, poor hygiene, some of the symptoms of anxiety, depression, confusion. How common is this happening that you've seen?
Well, something like 1 in 10 individuals who are over the age of 60 do experience some kind of abuse.
That's a lot of people.
It is a lot, and our elder community is growing faster than any other age group, so it's really something to pay attention to. Here in Indiana, you are required to report suspected endangered adults who are being exploited, battered, or neglected, and so to do that, you call the state hotline, which is 1-800-992-6978, and if it's an emergency, you should call 911.
Absolutely.
At what point do our viewers, us, everybody in this community need to step up and make those calls? Is it because I think a lot of people in any situation sit back and go, well, I don't want to, I don't know if that's happening. Is it better to be more, proactive in that rather than sit back and wait?
Certainly, if you're calling 911, you should be fairly certain that it's an emergency. But if you're calling the hotline, you can do that based on sort of your minimal, like, just good faith belief that some of this is happening. What happens is it then gets assigned to the prosecutor hub, the Adult Protective Services unit that services that area. They start doing an initial investigation to determine if they have an endangered adult who might be experiencing some abuse, and then they can triage that. It works a little bit like the Department of Child Services when you report child abuse. It's like they start to investigate it by looking at records, visiting with the elder, those kinds of things, and then they start to connect them up with services to address their needs. And so sometimes it doesn't, like, a lot of times we think about reporting something to the prosecutor's office, we're thinking about a police investigation. But this is much more of a social services oriented investigation where we're trying to decide, are there emergency needs that we can address right away, and then what is the long-term plan? Do we connect them with mental health, with other various services, area agencies on aging, and those kinds of things to try to address their needs long term. And then it can, if things are not going well, if we don't have a caregiver in place to help address the needs, it can go to a guardianship proceeding.
What I am hearing is that we all have a responsibility, and we have some tangible ways we can do something. Erica, thank you so much for being here.